Su Hua, a talented young pharmacist, had just opened his own medicine shop, but his joy was short-lived. He had sourced his herbs from his former supplier, only to realize he had been deceived. All the medicinal ingredients were spoiled. Before he could figure out a solution, a sudden epidemic broke out, bringing waves of desperate patients to his shop in search of a cure. However, all he had were useless herbs. Amidst his despair, his wife, Bai Suzhen, unexpectedly provided a miraculous remedy, using the very spoiled herbs to create a cure. To everyone's astonishment, the patients recovered quickly. Even Su Hua's former supplier, the one who had deceived him, was forced to return to buy medicine to save his own family. After helping her husband heal the sick, Bai Suzhen did not anticipate the danger looming ahead. One day, a Buddhist monk named Fa Hai came to Su Hua, warning him that his wife was a demon. Su Hua laughed at the absurdity. His wife was kind and compassionate, how could she be a demon? However, Fa Hai was persistent. He advised Su Hua to test his wife by giving her realgar wine on the 5th day of the 5th lunar month, when demons are at their weakest. If she were human, the wine would have no effect on her. At first, Su Hua ignored the monk's words, but as the day approached, curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to test his wife. On the fateful day, Bai Suzhen took a sip of the realgar wine, and her face turned pale as her body trembled. She rushed into her room, claiming she felt unwell. Concerned, Su Hua prepared medicine and went in to check on her. But instead of his wife, he saw a giant white serpent lying on the bed, its forked tongue stained with blood. The shock was too much. Su Hua collapsed and died on the spot. When Bai Suzhen regained consciousness, she was devastated to find her husband lifeless. Despite her immense power, she could not bring him back to life. Unwilling to accept his death, she embarked on a journey to seek the divine medicine that could revive him. She set out for the Kunlun Mountains, where the immortal Nanji Xianwing guarded a sacred herb capable of restoring life. Flying to the mountaintop, she passed through mystical gates and finally arrived at a silver bridge inscribed with the words, "Beyond the mortal realm." On the other side, 2 disciples of Nanji Xianwing stood guard over the sacred herb. To outwit them, Bai Suzhen disguised herself as a Buddhist monk and claimed she had come to invite the immortal to a grand celestial gathering. As the disciples left to relay the message, she swiftly plucked a leaf of the sacred herb and fled. However, her actions did not go unnoticed, and the 2 disciples immediately gave chase. As Bai Suzhen ran, she conjured a magical pearl and hurled it at one pursuer to slow him down. But the other continued to chase her relentlessly. With no other choice, she placed the herb under her tongue for safekeeping. The moment she did, the herb's magic surged forth, revealing their true forms, Bai Suzhen as the white serpent and the disciple as a white crane. Just as the battle escalated, Nanji Xianwing himself appeared. With a solemn voice, he asked, "You are immortal, why would you risk your life to steal this sacred herb?" Bai Suzhen bowed and recounted her past connection with Su Hua. She revealed that thousands of years ago, when she was just a small snake, she had been on the verge of being killed by a beggar. But at that moment, a kind-hearted young man had saved her. That man was none other than Su Hua in his past life. In gratitude, she spent centuries cultivating her powers, transforming into a human to seek out and repay her savior. Now, having caused his death, she was determined to bring him back, even if he might never accept her again. Moved by her sincerity, Nanji Xianwing was silent for a moment before nodding. He allowed her to take the sacred herb, recognizing that love and karma had bound them across lifetimes. Filled with hope, Bai Suzhen hurried back to save her husband. She returned home and used the sacred herb without hesitation. In an instant, Su Hua's complexion turned rosy, and his eyes slowly opened. At first, he was still filled with fear, but as he gazed at his wife, a smile gradually formed on his lips. Though he now knew she was a demon, their deep love remained unchanged. He no longer felt fear, only joy that they were still together. But their trials were not over. Fa Hai had not given up on separating them. What would become of Bai Suzhen and Su Hua? The battle between love and destiny was far from over.